Okay, so ever since the repeal of Proposition 8 in California happened, I've been reading a lot of news stories online, and it seems that a lot of people's biggest argument against gay marriage and their biggest fear of Proposition 8 being repealed is about children. You'll see a lot of other stuff, Bible quotes and personal bias and a lot of homophobic rants. But like their biggest clear argument, even in the case, the actual Proposition 8 case, was children and that they're going to be confused. And I find it really insulting that that's their biggest argument against gay marriage, because I was a child who grew up knowing I was gay. I found out I was gay in like 5th grade, and I grew up in a society knowing that it wasn't socially acceptable to be gay. My life options were go to college, date a girl, marry a girl, have children, live happily ever after. That was like it. There was no alternative. That was what I had to do. And I grew up knowing that being gay was wrong, and they couldn't marry in my state. I live in Ohio, and it just wasn't a lifestyle that you could choose. It wasn't socially normal. It wasn't acceptable, and therefore I had no choice but to stay in the closet. And I didn't come out of the closet until my senior year of high school. So it was really bad, and I just feel like, do they even realize that 1 in 10 of these kids are gay and are going to grow up to find out that they're gay? And they don't think about those kids. They don't view, the struggles that those children are going to have to go through. And, if there was gay marriage, they'd be growing up in a society where they should know to not be ashamed of who they are, and they can grow up knowing that they live in a society where it's socially acceptable to be the person that they are. And you look, and 50% of teens who commit suicide are gay. So there's a lot of struggles that go with that growing up in today's society, and their fear is that it's going to actually ruin these kids, when in actuality it's going to help them. They're going to be growing up in a better society, more accepting society, where they know that everyone's equal and deserves the same rights. And I think that's great. And all these people are freaking out like, oh my god, the kids, they're gonna be so confused because gay people are getting married. And it's like, shut up. Like, really? Last time I heard, no kids were like going insane with confusement. Confusement, is that a word? I don't know. But I haven't heard any kids like, driving themselves insane trying to comprehend the fact that 2 people who love each other are getting married of the same gender in Massachusetts or Connecticut or New Hampshire or Iowa. I don't think it's really been that big of an issue there. And their other argument is that, well, if gay people are getting married, they're gonna want to adopt kids. And this has been like a real issue with me. Like, I want to adopt a kid when I grow up. And the fact is, okay, a lot of kids born into straight families were not planned for, or accidents. And a lot of kids in straight families, well, not a lot, but there's a lot of straight families out there who really can't afford to have kids and can't give them the same rights or the same chances that they really deserve. And they shouldn't really have as many kids as they should. And a lot of families have kids that they really don't care about or don't love. They just provide for. I'm not saying all. I'm not like stereotyping, but there's a lot of families like that. I work in a grocery store, so I see a lot of different families come through, and you can definitely tell that there's certain families who don't really give a fuck about their kids. They just kind of feed them and do that, and you can tell that probably more than half of them were accidents, and they have like 8. And I mean, that's horrible. The difference is, gay people, like, they want kids. They can't have kids on themselves. They can't just, do it and then 9 months later have a baby. It's not easy for them. They actually have to fight, and they have to work to be able to obtain a child. And after all that work and after all that, perseverance of trying to get a child, they're not going to just forget about it. They're going to love it. They're going to care for it. They're going to take care of it right. And you look at it, and kids actually do better in homosexual couples. Like, you look, they test higher in schools. They've done studies where they don't notice gender roles. Like, they did a test, and Children raised by homosexual couples don't necessarily believe that a doctor should be a guy and a nurse should be a girl because they're born to think everyone's equal and everyone's the same, which is amazing. And I think that's the society children are going to grow up in. And I don't understand why some people are afraid of that. I think they're afraid that their children are going to grow up thinking that this is okay and acceptable and that everyone's equal, and they don't think that, and they're afraid that their children are going to have differing opinions than them, so they want to force their children to have the same feelings that they do and the same values and values. And they're just afraid of this, and I think it's going to be great. I think that in 30, 40 years, a majority of people are going to be far more accepting and loving and just better because they grew up in a society where everyone was equal and everyone was treated the same. And I don't know why everyone's so fearful of the children. I think it's actually going to be a good thing. I don't think that they're going to be that confused. You look at the 10% of children who are actually gay who are going to be growing up in a much more accepting society where they don't have to be afraid. They won't have to grow up, some of them will actually live and they won't have to kill themselves because they're afraid that they won't be accepted. I think it's going to be it's a way great thing, and I don't see why people are so scared about it. And I don't know. So leave me comments and video responses on your opinion. This is just something that's really bothered me, and I've seen a lot of it, and so I decided to make a little rant about it. So, in other words, congratulations, State of California, for repealing Prop 8. I know you guys can't get married yet, but hopefully that will change soon, and hopefully it'll make it to the Supreme Court. And even though I know it kind of leans conservative, I still have my fingers crossed that hopefully this is just one step forward into bringing marriage equality nationwide, and hopefully bringing that society that we kind of all dream about into a reality for the children. Peace out, YouTube.